I have been coding since I was 10 years old. I have always been interested. No! In 2019, when my brother learned that I didn't have a computer, he literally went out and bought it for me. All the way up until the end of 2020, I was literally just learning English using my laptop that he bought. In 2020, I learned that my position in life was pretty shit. I didn't have a job, obviously, because I was in high school. I couldn't get into colleges because I didn't have money. And I wasn't really that confident at the time. So the first thing that literally comes to my mind when I try to think about securing my life in the future was start coding. I was very anxious about what I'm going to do with my life, so I literally just started thinking about what should I do with my life. And I thought about coding. There wasn't much research done. I just found some course that I had access to, which was 100 days of Python or something like that. I literally just started doing it. After around 100 days, I finished it completely. By then, exactly then, I learned that how actually draining and mentally demanding it is to code. But then some other issues came up, which were just high school exams, the entrance exams, the college stuff. Even though I couldn't or wanted to go to college, there was still some things that I need to prepare for. So it goes like this literally up until the graduation day. The graduation day ends and the first thought that came to my mind was, what am I going to do with my life? I literally sat and thought about it for a couple of days. On GitHub, which is a code-based code cloud, you can see when the person uploaded their code, the date of the day. It was literally the 1st of July 2021. It was exactly then. Literally the moment I decided that I'm going to learn to code, I literally just started and even coded something and uploaded to GitHub. So what did I do? Just like I said before, I took a course that I had access to, which was 100 days of code. There was mentioned a resource for learning web development, particularly the front end, which was Frontend Mentor.io. It's an incredible website. The developers that made it are freaking awesome. It is in fact so good that after building all the projects that there were, I built the foundation where I can now build literally anything I want given enough time. By that I mean that I have intuitive understanding what I actually need to learn and do in order to build something. So Frontend Mentor.io, absolutely recommend that if you have no idea what to do. Just jump straight into it, start with the newbie challenges. You'll be set for your career. So the moment I decided, I literally jumped into coding and I started building projects. I committed myself to doing one project a day. Literally in 60 days, around 2 months, I built out every single project, every single challenge that there was on Frontend Mentor. I had a massive portfolio that actually showcased how fast I can learn. After that, I decided to go in depth into languages themselves. So I had a neighbor who was a decade experienced C++ programmer. So I asked him, what should I do? All he told me was learn vanilla JS. I was like, why is it called vanilla? Whatever. I don't actually remember why, but I knew at the time that I had to go extreme to actually learn it, to actually go in depth. I found some books and the 3 of them I actually read a couple of times each and went through them. The first one was Eloquent JavaScript, the second one was Secrets of JavaScript Ninja, and the third one was javascript.info website, the PDF version of it. So you might think like, what exactly was extreme? It was like this. For 28 days, I cut off my internet. Quite literally, I didn't have access to the internet. I deleted everything on my laptop. Music, anime, videos, movies, everything was deleted. Everything, even photos and images. On my phone, I had little to no distraction at all, so I didn't touch my phone at all. For 28 days, I was locked up in my room, reading and learning. I'm going to try to paint the picture how it felt at the time. Actually, in one of the videos, I told about that story where I felt absolute dread and misery. It was exactly that time. Imagine it was like this. Blistering sun is shining through a window. I am sweaty, I am lying down on the floor and just thinking, how the f did I get myself into this? How the f did I get into this shit. There was literally no stimulation, no dopamine released unless I actually understood something. That's the key point. I was so miserable. I was actually thinking, why the fuck am I even living? I was so miserable that literally the only point where I felt good about myself was when I actually understood something, which was very rare. So it was literally like this. I turned to my laptop, tried to read it. I don't understand anything. I tried to read it again. I don't understand anything. Then I just think why I don't understand it. Nothing, literally nothing came to my mind. I go lay down on the floor for a couple of minutes. And it's too hot to do that, so you just stand up and try to read it again. And it was literally like this for hours and hours and hours a day, every day. I felt so miserable, but it was worth it. I learned so much. The fundamentals of JavaScript that I needed are still enough to this day. I remember that example actually from the Eloquent JavaScript, which was the author was trying to explain async await promises, I think. I think it was that. And there was just crow nests, and I was like, why the fuck are you telling me about crows? My God, it was painful. It was so dreadful. I was literally just thinking, why? Why is life this way? Anyway, so that happened. I don't actually remember whether I just connected the internet back and gave up, or it was just that I didn't see the reason to go further. But after 28 days, I was back online. And again, I'm gonna say this. Every time I felt absolutely miserable, I deserved to feel miserable. I was a brokey. I still am in a way. I didn't have a job. I was literally just sitting in an empty room trying to learn something, and I saw no progress. I deserve to feel miserable. You're not doing anything with your life. That's what happens. Then some time passes. I try to go back on Front-End Mentor again, redoing the challenges. I do some of them actually, and then somewhere I learned about the Odin project. So I hop on that. I try to do that as well. The Odin project is split into two parts, which is front-end and back-end. The front-end part, I literally just skim over it. It was that easy at that point. The main part I focused on was back-end, which I did. I think I completed it fully. There were some of the projects that I skipped, but in 2 or 3 months, it was over. So I chose Node.js part instead of Ruby and Rails. I learned that. I learned a lot. The best practices, how do you do that? What do you use? How to Google some things, some particular things. How to solve problems, how to approach big, complex projects. Most of the things I learned that I do intuitively now were actually from the Odin project. My internship that lasted a week. I tried to become a mobile developer, doing Telegram bots, doing some websites as well for myself, not commercial or anything like that. So at some point in the summer of 2022, I get sick of kind of repeating everything, and my friend told me that I am a bum sitting at home. I get sick of it, and I quickly just create a CV, find some ads, just submit it and go there. I got one interview and I passed it flawlessly, easily. It was very easy. I got an unpaid internship. The company was pretty cool. It was high tech, you could say, back in my home country. But there was a catch. When I asked them when I'm going to get full-time, they said that I just need to complete a couple of projects like to test me, right? So I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough, right? They gave me the projects, I complete them in a day or two, couple of them. So I finished that, and then I asked like, what's the next thing? Are you gonna pay me now? Then they pair me up with another intern, and they literally tell us to build a commercial for production e-commerce website. We're like, okay, fair enough. Are you gonna pay us? They're like, no, we'll see how you do it. Then I just asked whether it's commercial, whether it's an actual client, and it was. Then I started like asking around the other staff, how long have they been there? And the moment that put me off was that there was a backend developer who was still an intern, who was there for 6 months, literally being an intern, unpaid intern for 6 months, still just doing stuff and not saying anything. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I just left. I said no. The challenges were easy, there was no growth. I needed money to just go there, eat there. Yeah, I just said no. So during that summer, I submitted around 50 applications to colleges, to universities. Most of them were in Turkey and some of them were in my home country. Most of the colleges here in Turkey asked for a deposit fee, which was $1,000. So yeah, I passed the colleges in my home country, but there was a catch. The September 8th of 2022, my friend called me and said that we kind of passed in a college here in Turkey. And he told me that we literally need to go fly out right now in 2 days. And I'm like, oh, what do I do, right? I asked my brother who gifted me the laptop, I asked him for money. For some money. So he did give me, and I'm very grateful for that. I packed my bike, packed my clothes, and we flew out here and everything is fine. We're here right now. So what am I working on right now? I'm working on my website. I learned Next.js framework or library or something in a day, and I literally just built my website around it. There's actually still a bug there that I can't solve, and if anyone is coder and watching me, please help me with that.